Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Weekly Yap. I know it's been a very long time since I have actually made one of these because I have been a lazy bastard. But really, it's just been a matter of, I don't know, it just hasn't really felt like the right time to record it yet, but I don't know why, but now seems like the right time, so here we are recording stuff. You might be wondering where my model is right now. Right now is not currently on because my phone needs to cool down a little bit. And I figured that, I mean, at least for these videos, it's not the most necessary thing. So I figured, you know, I just leave it out for now. But I really don't think it's gonna affect what we're gonna be talking about today. And it's not like anything today is gonna be like particularly like giga heavy. I mean, it's just gonna be sort of similar to what we normally go after. But I feel like, just to get straight into it, I am very unhappy seeing a lot of people around me unhappy. If that makes any sort of sense. Like, basically to explain it, I mean, as of when I'm recording this, it is October 11th, so, you know, that seasonal depression is really hitting people hard right about now. And to be perfectly honest, it feels, I think the best way to describe it is, it feels almost unfair. You know, the fact that I am, like, I feel like, I mean, I definitely did go through my fair share this year as well, so far, you know. That's why I was unable to record this episode for a good while, is because I was, you know, just kind of going through it, you know, trying to figure out, like, I mean, as you guys who have tuned in the stream would probably know, you know, I was kind of struggling with, you know, kind of finding out who I really am, and overall just being more confident in myself, but I got through it pretty quick, and seeing people that I know not being able to get through it as quick is, it makes me sad, man, because I feel like it's not fair for me to be as happy. I mean, like, I want to say, like, as happy and successful as I am. Like, I'm by no means, like, super successful. I mean, I'm extraordinarily happy with where I am, but I mean, I'm by no means, you know, in the big leagues yet, but I mean, it does feel like I am making very big strides towards that, and that's what I've been, you know, really, really happy about as of late. You know, you guys have been really liking a lot of these new series. You've been supporting me on streams insanely as of recent. And I really couldn't ask for much more. It's been an absolute pleasure recently being able to, you know, make new friends within the streaming community, meeting people, and it's been more than I really could have ever asked for. And I just feel like all of it is almost, it's not fair to other people, because a lot of the people that I know right now, what they're struggling with is they're feeling, you know, very, very alone. Like, they just don't feel like they have people around that. And to be honest, like, that really upsets me, you know, because I would like to hope that for the friends that I have made, I want them to be able to reach out to me. And when they're just kind of by themselves, you know, suffering on their own, you know, that hurts. That hurts to see, because, I mean, I don't wish these things onto anybody that I know. Like, I wouldn't wish loneliness on my worst enemy. Like, I've talked about it before. Like, the feeling of being alone is like that. It is without a doubt my biggest, like, feeling that I don't enjoy. It's just something that I really can't get over. My, I don't want to say hatred, because that feels malicious, but it's something that I don't like, and it's something that I hate seeing other people have to go through, especially when they might be, you know, friends of mine. And I feel like I feel almost wrong for, I guess what I tell myself is that I haven't been a good enough friend, and that's why they're not reaching out to me. But that's not the point of this recording. In fact, the point of this is actually sort of the opposite of that, which is that I think that I've recently rewatched a Jaden Animations video that really made me think. And one thing that she mentioned in the video is, you are not responsible for other people's happiness. And that sort of made me think about, like, kind of what's going on right now. Because during this season of, a lot of people just kind of going through stuff, it's the time of sickness, a lot of people are just not really, in the best mind spaces right now. It is very good to keep in mind that you, as an individual, even as a very good friend, should not feel like it is your job to make sure that those around you are happy. Because, unfortunately, it is true that even the closest friends that you have, talking to them, dealing with their issues, well, it is incredibly sweet to, be there for people and, show them the best support that you can. At the end of the day, it is them that has to figure out their own problems. It is those individuals that have to figure out their own ways of solving whatever is, going on. Because if they don't, then you're just going to be putting your heart, your soul, your effort into nothingness. And that really, really, really sucks. I can say for certain that is an awful feeling, because it makes you not only feel like you failed that person, but it also makes you feel bad just because you feel like, I must be a terrible friend. Like, if I can't provide this support for the people around me, then, like, why am I even here? Like, why am I even trying? But, that effort that you put in, whether or not it does, quote unquote, solve the problem, that effort still exists. Like, you've still done something. You've still contributed. You're still being a good friend and a good person. But at some point, you just kind of have to accept the fact that you can't fix everything. And especially if you are a compassionate person by nature, that can be tough. It can be very tough. Even if you're not a compassionate person, I think I know very few people I know actually no one in my life who doesn't have at least some friends. And I think by having those friends, of course, honestly, even if you know them a lot or little, you're going to care about them. And when you're not able to help them out of ruts in life, and especially if they've been able to help you out of your own, like, that's the case that I've been dealing with, right? Where I have a lot of these friends that I've made who are other content creators who I've gotten to know, and I've just been so happy to get to know them. And it makes me very happy knowing them. And the fact that I'm not able to fully return on that it's crushing, man. It's very, very, very hard, because it makes you feel like you're almost taking advantage of them, which is not the case. And you should never feel like that's the case. Like, unless you're just actually taking advantage of someone, you shouldn't feel like it's your own fault for someone else not being happy. Now, that being said, I do think that, as I said earlier, it is good to show support in whatever way that you can, but, sometimes you do just have to deal with the fact that you won't have all the answers. And that can be pretty tough. It can be very, very, very tough. So that's definitely one thing out of the way. So just bear in mind that, even if someone is going through something and you know them and you're close with them, you don't have to bear that entire burden on your shoulders. I've said it before, but having friends and talking about problems with them is one of the best parts of being a human being. But you cannot... You can't lean everything on one person, because then their back's gonna break too. And then you're gonna have even less than when you started. So just always bear in mind, your own emotional and mental limitations, because if not, it's not that people will take advantage, it's just that maybe even unintentionally, people will become overwhelmed with things. It's happened to me more times than I can count, where I knew people who were going through stuff and I tried to be there for them, and it got to a point of overstepping, and then I ended up getting burned for it, and then turns out it didn't help at all, and they just needed to figure things out for themselves. And that's tough. It's not fun, it's not easy, but it is the way of the world. It's how things work. And I think the sooner people can kind of accept that and, really take in the fact that, they can't solve everything, I think, the more willing people will be, the people who are hurting will be to, do their own self-reflection and figure out what's going on with them. Because, I think that is, the best quote-unquote solution to situations like that is, finding out your own answers, right? Because it's very easy to, like, look at other people or, like, read books or consume media to try to, like, figure out an answer. But especially with times like this where a lot of it is just, like, going through your own feelings, usually there's not, like, an actual answer that anybody can give. It's just a matter of, finding that within yourself. And I feel like I've been very lucky in the fact that, I feel like I've gotten good at, I guess, soul searching, where I can, find out kind of what's going on in my own head pretty quick and learn to deal with it. And I think it's one of my strongest traits is the fact that I am able to do that. And I think it's helped me out a lot in life because it's made it to where I can recover very quickly, maybe not easily, but very quickly from very hard times. I can recover from loss, from really whatever it may be without too much of an issue. And sometimes that does feel, as I said, it does feel unfair that I'm able to do that, but at the same time, it's like you have to accept parts of yourself and parts of other people in order to, like, I guess, take advantage of them. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts going through my mind, and the whole point of this series is to get pretty much everything just out into the world as much as I can. And I think that is what I'm doing with this, I just finished up stream like 2-ish hours ago. It was really fun. It was really, really, really fun. That's been something that I've been absolutely loving lately, is the fact that streams as of late have been so much fun. I've been, like I said before, I've been doing that soul searching, and I feel like I really have, in a lot of ways, cracked the code on how I like, making content, what the types of things that I like making, who I really am in terms of the content that I make. And that's why I'd encourage you guys as well to, if you're struggling to figure out, like, what you want to do, what you want to make, what kind of content you want to make, just try shit out, just try shit out, do some soul searching of your own, and just try to figure out what works for you, like what kind of content you enjoy making, what kind of personality you like putting out into the world, what kind of, things you like putting out into the world, right? Because I think that's really the beautiful thing about content creation, is the fact that you really can put just about anything out into the world. So, I think that if you can, you absolutely should put the best parts of yourself out into the world. But, I think simultaneously it's okay to, show when you have struggles, right? It's okay to talk about those things, because I feel like, especially in this day and age, it's very easy to forget that, struggles exist. I think that, with social media and everything, a lot of aspects of life are very quickly, glamorized, and it becomes very easy. The hard parts of life can tend to be drowned out, at least in a more realistic sense. Like, obviously, negative things get tons of attention on social media, but I'm more talking about, like, basic things. Like, some days, if you're just not really feeling good about yourself, like, things like that, I feel like they just kind of don't get talked about enough. And, it can be very tough, because, it's very easy, and I've seen it a billion times, of people who go through days like that, and then it just kind of gets worse, and then it spirals from there, and it becomes a really deep, really hard challenge to try to, break through that, and, go back to what you would feel as, your normal self. That's why I feel like it's important to talk about things, because otherwise, anytime you get into those ruts, it might take you like weeks or months potentially of, like, feeling like you're burnt out, until you finally, I guess, in a way, like, come back to your senses and, feel like you're you again. Like, I think that's, at the very least, that's something that I've struggled with, is, like, getting into one of those ruts and then feeling like you're just kind of never gonna get out of it, when in all reality, it usually doesn't take much to get out of those things. It usually just takes the right person at the right time, or maybe the right song. I've found that listening to music really, really, really helps me get through things like that, because I feel like music really helps me reflect quite a bit. You know, it helps me think about things more clearly. It helps me kind of just see things in a more, or I guess just maybe think about things in a more clear way. And I do love that. It's part of why I feel like I found a much stronger passion for music as of recently. Because music, I feel like, has helped me get through a lot of really tough times. So, yeah, just, you know, do things that you like. Take some time and just remember that things are gonna be okay at the end of the day. Like, it's the end is never the end, you know? There are always going to be things left in the world for you, right? Like, as much as you might think that everything is ending, it usually never is. It's usually just a matter of just, I guess, taking a break, breathing, and just overall focusing on, you know, finding that normalcy in whatever way that you can. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just saying words a lot of the time, but I just hope that some of this, you know, makes some sort of sense. You know, I said it at the beginning where I feel like I'll get better at this over time. And, you know, maybe I'll try to stop being so damn philosophical and just spouting about shit, but I don't know. At least for now, it feels right. And I told myself I would do what feels right, so here we are. You know? So yeah, it's tough out there. It's a tough time right now. A lot of things aren't the greatest in the world, but I really do hope that, you know, you guys can find the things that make you happy. And if any of my friends are watching this, I hope that you guys can find the things that make you happy too. Like, that is why I started making content, is because I wanted to make people happy, and that will continue to be the goal for as long as I do this. It will always be to make people happy, you know, to inspire everyone that I can and create as much positive change in the world as possible. Like, I want to leave the world a better place than when I found it. Because I feel like, you know, there's not much of a better thing to do, right? Like, I mean, why would I want to make the world worse? Like, if I, with all egotistical bullshit in mind, like, if I for some reason am some sort of, you know, special person, and, you know, I've got a gift where I'm able to, you know, be charismatic, be energetic, I feel like it would only be right for me to use it for the benefit of other people. And, like, I'm not gonna try to be some saint. Like, obviously, I still want to be fucking rich. I want to be famous, dude. Like, I want to be able to pay off my parents' loans, you know, be able to live comfortably and lift other people up. But, I mean, you know, that stuff's gonna take time. Like, I don't know where things could lead. Like, for all I know, I could get nominated for Hidden Gem at the Streamer Awards, get flown back out to California, win an award, and then go back to streaming, and I have 1,000 viewers on average. Who the fuck knows, man? Like, that's in a way the beauty of it, is the fact that I have no idea what's gonna come next, ever. Like, at any given point, you know, anything could happen. A video could go viral, the right person could see the right thing at the right time, and everything could change. And I like that. I like that a lot. I like the idea that, you know, it really is just a matter of me, right? Like, it's just a matter of me being myself. And I think that's the most important thing I learned lately, is I feel like when I started making content, I very much was pretty much just constantly trying to, you know, emulate what I saw, right? I would do things like look at people like Jay Schlatt, or look at Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Iron Mouse, Joel, and I would try to do what they do, right? Like, I would try to make what they make. I would try to, you know, I guess, be myself, but also them at the same time, if that makes any sense. But I think what that led to was the idea that if I'm trying to emulate these people, if I'm trying to be like Joel or Mouse or Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or Jay Schlatt, and I'm not, then I'm a failure for that. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think that the only thing the only thing that could possibly make me a failure is not trying anymore. I think that's the only thing that could make me a real failure at this point, is if I gave up. If I stopped putting in all this time, all this effort. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but, like, I spend hours, man. Like, it's a long, arduous process. It's not the hardest thing in the world by any means. You know, I'm not going to war. I'm not dying. But it's, you know, it is work. But it's work that I'm okay with and I'm happy with, because it's contributing to the one thing I've wanted to do for my entire life. And I think that realization right there, that, like, I am doing the thing that I've wanted to do forever, and I might be able to succeed, so I need to figure this shit out now. I think that, I guess you could call it, that desperation is really what led me to the revelation of, I don't have time to, you know, question, like, oh, if I should do this on stream, if I should, you know, act this way, if I should do this or do that, or not do this or not do that. I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be the best version of myself I can be. And if I make mistakes, I'm gonna show the world that I learned from them. If I succeed, I'm gonna show the world that too. Like, I just want to show the world, you know, this entire process, the entire part of content creation. Because, again, this is, like, it's my favorite thing of all time, dude. Like, I've said it once, I will say it a billion times, but I think content creation is the coolest thing on the goddamn planet. And I want to be the best the world has ever seen, or maybe ever will see at it. And that's why I'm okay with the failures. That's why I want you guys to be okay with your failures. Because, again, it's only a failure if you don't learn from it. But if you spend the time, if you're willing to dedicate your life, your time, your energy to something like this, then I think you will make it. I think that in this world where, you know, so much change is happening, I think the best thing we can do is just, you know, believe in each other, you know, support each other. As absolutely corny as that sounds, you know, I'm an optimist, right? Like, I like to think of things in the best possible light, because I think it serves two purposes. It gives you hope for the future, and also, you know, if those things do come to light, it's like a little bit of a bonus, right? I don't necessarily think that everything's gonna be perfect. I know everything is gonna be perfect, right? Like, I've experienced tough times. I've experienced, you know, all the shit that the world can throw at you. And, you know, of course, I've learned from that, you know, obviously not everything is gonna be perfect all the time. Most of the time, things are gonna be perfect. But, you know, if I can take what good there is and refine that as much as I can, and, you know, give that back to people, then I do think that I can make a difference. I do think that I can change the world, or at the very least, you know, set the I don't know, set the tracks in motion, set the parts in motion, set the gears in motion, something like that. I don't know. I just believe that I can change things, and I don't really want to stop making things until I feel like I've done that. So I guess maybe that's my motivation now, is I just want to prove to myself that it is possible, that I can be the best at this, and that, you know, all these people that have believed in me, all these people that continue to believe in me, the people that cheer me on, the people that say, you know, you're funny, you know, whether or not they're lying straight through their teeth or not, like, I just want to prove to the world that you can be a good person regardless of the situation, that, you know, you can be a positive human being, you know, even in this world where a lot of stuff really, really sucks, you still can be a beacon of change and light to as many people as possible, really. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. And I don't really think I'm gonna stop doing that anytime soon. I think that I'm going to keep going. I think that, in all honesty, I feel like a lot of potentially explosive growth is right on the horizon. You know, a lot of things are getting really good. You know, people are starting to know my name. And I think that right now, to be perfectly honest, it's only a matter of time before, you know, that big explosion occurs. And then, in all honesty, I think that's where it's going to start getting hard. Because I'm going to have to figure out real quick, you know, what am I going to do? Who am I really going to be? Because once I have, you know, all those eyes on me, things are going to be different. You know, it's going to be a matter of, you know, trying to balance a lot, you know, trying to balance an audience, trying to figure out a lot of stuff. It's going to be new. It's going to be scary. But, you know, I really hope that at the very least, I keep doing this. You know, I keep doing the weekly yap. Because I think that this series is, you know, thinking about the future, I think this is the type of series that, you know, will keep me grounded for a real long time. And, I don't know, prevent me from selling Lunchables knockoffs. At least I'd like to hope so. But, yeah. I think that's about all I've got for now. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. You know, this was an episode that I feel like everyone was waiting on for a long time because, again, I took my sweet time making it. But, you know, I do hope that, you know, the payoff was worth it in y'all's eyes and that, you know, you guys still believe in me and that you guys still believe that I will be able to make, you know, a good change, a good impact on the world because I definitely do still believe it. So, yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye-bye!